That's not what I wanted. I've heard that so many times from clients who have come to me after getting a mortgage and they are confused. They're a little bit upset because they ended up with something that they didn't actually want. That's why it's so important that you read all of your documentation. Today, I'm just going to cover off the main reasons why people end up with mortgages that they don't even want, or maybe they just don't understand the mortgage that they have. So that's not what I wanted. Three reasons why you ended up with the wrong mortgage. Now, there's lots of different reasons why this could happen, but usually it comes down to three separate things. My name is Anthony Lindsay, and I make these videos so that I can talk through things that commonly get asked of me or things that my clients have issues with. Now, the top reason why clients end up with the mortgage or with a product that they don't want is usually down to one thing, and it's the broker. Sometimes, not because you have a bad broker, but because you have a really good broker. Your broker may just be taking all of the admin, all of the tasks off your hands. And a lot of clients enjoy that, and that's actually part of the job of a broker, but they should always be explaining things to you. So even if you have an amazing broker and they're taking care of everything for you, make sure that you're reading through the documents, make sure that you're responding to their emails, make sure that you understand the bits and pieces that they are sending over to you. So it may not be that they didn't explain things clearly. It may just be that you didn't listen. So that's reason number one. Reason number one why people end up with a product that they don't want or don't understand is because the broker may not have explained things clearly, or maybe the client didn't listen. Reason number two why people end up with a product or a mortgage that they don't want is because of their learning style. Different people have different learning styles, and different people have different preferences. So me, for example, I am a visual learner, so I learn things visually. So I like to see things, not just hear things. As a broker, what I do with my clients, I understand their learning style. So if you're the type of person that needs to be sent something, given some time to read through it, and then we discuss it, I'll do that. If you're the type of person that likes to ask questions during the meeting, I'll do that. But I do my very best to meet every learning style. So I'll send emails, I'll make sure that I send videos, I'll make sure that I send WhatsApp. So your communication and learning style is one of the reasons why you might end up with the wrong product, because if your broker is not explaining things to you in a way that matches your learning style, you can end up with the wrong product. Reason number three is you just didn't listen. So, reason number three why people end up with the wrong mortgage or the wrong product, or maybe they have the right one and they don't understand it, is they just didn't listen. You were too focused on the interest rate. How many times have I said this? Interest rates obviously are very important, but if you're just focused on the interest rate and everything else the mortgage broker is explaining to you, you'll miss important things. So if you're only focused on the interest rate and they're explaining to you about terms and fixed rates versus variable rates, and they're explaining to you about protection, et cetera, and all you're thinking about is interest rate, interest rate, interest rate, you'll miss very important information. You may end up with the wrong product simply because you weren't listening. Interest rates are something that you want to focus on, but I always advise people to make sure you get an affordable monthly repayment. And as far as fixed terms, like if you know or you feel that interest rates are going to be changing very soon, then you maybe want to do a shorter fixed term, or maybe you want to do a variable term. Or if you feel like interest rates are going to be going up rapidly over the next couple of years, then you might want to do a longer fixed term. Nobody knows what's going to happen with interest rates. So what will happen is when you're speaking to your mortgage broker, he or she will give you information and give you guidance, but you'll need to make a decision. But you need to make sure that you listen, ask questions, and if you're unclear about something, ask the question again. So the reason number three why people end up with the wrong product or maybe the right product that they don't understand is simply because they did not listen. When you apply for a mortgage, there's a lot of moving parts, and your broker is there to make sure that they explain and walk you through the entire process. But you have a responsibility as a client to read the documents. Always read the documents that are sent over to you by your broker, by the lender, by your solicitor. These documents are very important, and we as brokers have a legal obligation to make sure we're getting you the best product over the shortest term within your budget. So, people ask me all of the time, what is a mortgage? I always tell them a mortgage is a really big loan. And the process for getting a mortgage is pretty straightforward. So, the process is about three different things plus one criteria issue. It's about your credit, your income, and your deposit. So, your credit, meaning your credit profile, not just your credit score. Your income, how much are you making? Because remember, a mortgage is a really big loan. Therefore, you have to pay it back. The lender needs to know how you're going to pay that loan back. And your deposit. This is the bit that a lot of people struggle with. If you don't have a large deposit, there are ways that you can still get a mortgage. So make sure you speak to a mortgage broker before you start the process of looking for a house. Don't just go on Zoopla and Rightmove and do one of those affordability calculators, because 9 times out of 10, it's going to tell you that you can borrow more than you actually can. Or potentially, it might tell you that you can get a mortgage when, based on your circumstances, you're unable to get a mortgage. What do you do to get ready? How should you prepare for getting a mortgage? Let me explain to you the best way to get ready for a mortgage. Start before you're ready. So speak to a broker and get a mortgage capacity report. The reason why I say to start before you're ready is because you don't know what you need to do until you've talked to a broker. So if you're not sure on what lending criteria is or how much of a deposit you actually need, or potentially what type of employment status you need in order to get a mortgage, if you don't know those things, you're going to have a problem. So speak to a mortgage broker. I do free mortgage capacity reports for all of my clients, even if you're not ready to buy now, because this way I can give you a blueprint, a game plan on what you need to do to be ready sooner and have as many options as possible. Check your credit report. Always check your credit report at least once a year. I'd recommend twice a year. Go to checkmyfile.com, get your credit report. Make sure there's no searches on there that you haven't authorized. You could have been the victim of identity theft. So check your credit report. Make sure that if you see any searches on there for products, that they were searches that were conducted on behalf of you. Make sure that there's no CCJs, late payments, defaults, anything like that, because these are the things that are going to impact your credit. But if you speak to a mortgage broker before you're ready, you can tidy those things up when you're ready to do your application. And review your savings. I find that a lot of my clients are saving in their current account. In most cases, that high street banks' current accounts aren't giving you the maximum rate on savings. So if you go to Money Savings Expert and look online, do your due diligence, research bank accounts, find a savings account that's going to give you a great interest rate. And if you're not planning on buying your home within the next year, then look at the Lifetime ISA. The Lifetime ISA is an amazing product if used correctly. Make sure you do your due diligence. I'm not giving financial advice, I'm not giving legal advice, and I'm not giving tax advice, but a Lifetime ISA, if you are looking to buy in more than a year, can be a great product, because if you pay in up to £4,000 or £4,000, you'll get £1,000 from the government. Now, if you're not looking to use the Lifetime ISA to purchase your first home, then it might not be a good product for you. So make sure you look at all the terms and conditions in order to get that product. So the top 3 reasons why someone would end up with the wrong mortgage, or maybe they have the right mortgage, but they just don't understand it. Reason number 1 is a bad broker. So your broker didn't explain things to you, or maybe you have a really good broker and they just did everything for you and didn't explain anything to you. The reason number 2 is potentially your learning style. So maybe when things were being explained to you you needed a visual aid, and they didn't provide that to you. So maybe you just need to tell your broker or tell the person doing the mortgage for you, look, could you just slow down, or could you send that to me in writing, or could we just go through it line by line? And the other one is maybe you were just too focused on rates. So once you heard the rate, you just went into like dream mode. You didn't listen to anything else. So you need to make sure that you review the documents, listen, ask questions, you're clear on everything, understand the difference between the term and the fixed period, standard variable rates and fixed rates, and make sure that you get a payment that you can afford. Don't just focus on the interest rate. So those are the top three reasons why someone might end up with the wrong mortgage or a mortgage that they don't understand. You can avoid those things by having a good broker who explains things to you in a way that you understand, who takes time with you, and will always answer your call. If you're looking for a broker, my name is Anthony Lindsay. I'd love to be your broker. I do take appointments outside of 9 to 5 and sometimes on weekends. I will make sure that I guide you through the process, answer your questions, and give you the support that you need as a first time buyer, that you don't feel stressed out getting your mortgage. Make sure that you like this video, make sure that you subscribe to this video, and if you know anyone that's looking for a mortgage or a remortgage, please share your information. If you've enjoyed the video, make sure you put a comment in the comment section, and make sure you read the description, because I always have some great hints and tips in the description for you. But most of all, make sure you subscribe, because I'm here to give you information